Good morning, everybody.
Good
Buenos
morning.
dias.
Good to
Buenos
see
dias.
everybody out here on the porch.
Buenos dias.
Buenos dias. I'm
Yeah. Bom
David.
dia. That's Portuguese.
Guten Morgen.
By the
Auf
way, that's
Deutsch.
Craig and Marvin.
Auf
Since
Deutsch.
they don't want to introduce themselves, I'll tell you who they are. They so used to be showing up, They don't even say anything anymore. I just come out in the morning and find them sitting on my porch.
That's right.
You go, what the hell? They
What
look
are
at
you
me like,
guys
"Where's the
doing
No,
here?"
coffee?"
we say, what the hell? Where's the coffee and toast and avocado?
That's right.
We're from California. We do toast and avocado. And let
That's
me
right.
tell you folks something. We people out here, us Mexicans and everybody that hang with us, we've been eating toast and avocado, tortillas and avocado forever. That ain't nothing new. That ain't new.
Well,
That's like,
that's just like so many other things, right? I mean, when you look at the world around us, it's just a repeat of the world that was around us. It's you know what I mean? It's like it's spinning, but it's done. It's still.
it keeps catching up with itself. I saw some lady the other day, some
Yeah,
young girl wearing bell bottoms.
yeah.
Right on.
I'm going right on. Okay, they didn't look as cool though as they did when we wore them. I don't know what it was. I think it's an attitude.
Well, yeah, because I mean, the bell bottoms at the time were kind of they were copying the military, the Navy,
It was a
but also
protest.
it was you were saying something if you wore bell bottoms. And
That's right.
remember the rag tied at the knee,
Yeah,
and Jimi
yeah,
Hendrix started that shit,
yeah,
and then
yeah,
people started putting a scarf at their knee.
yeah.
I did that for a little while.
You kidding? I wore moccasins. Let's
Yeah,
get,
see. But like we were talking about earlier,
what were we talking about?
well, okay, so I went to Palo Alto last week. There was
Mhm.
a protest. There was about 400 or 500 people,
Wow.
and we marched from the corner of El Camino and
Whoa,
Page.
wait a minute, wait a minute. What are you protesting? What are you doing out there with all these people marching? What are you marching about?
We were marching because people were trying to get some miles on their phone, so they wanted to get steps in. So they figured, okay, we want to get these steps in, and we're going to get these signs and protest against Elon Musk.
Oh,
So what we did was we said, well, let's get some steps in, and since we're going to get steps in, let's walk from Page Mill and El Camino up to Tesla headquarters, which was
Uh-huh.
about 1.5 miles from the starting point. And then we went to Tesla headquarters and protested Elon Musk.
awesome.
Now, it was a good crowd. We were raucous but not rowdy. We were focused, and the skies weren't cloudy uh,
All day.
all day. But I'm putting I'm making light of it, but it was a really serious matter, and there's a lot of serious things going on right now
Mhm.
where our world is in turmoil because of one man. And I'm not talking about my microcosm, your microcosm, or any other microcosms. It's the entire freaking world.
Yeah.
And
Well,
this
let me.
man,
I got to say something. Everybody keeps pointing at one man, and I'm going to totally disagree with that. One man may have lit the fuse, but everybody stood around and watching it burn when 1,000 people could put that fuse out. So to me, it's not one man, it's a whole consciousness, a society within our own midst, right here, our fellow countrymen who are kowtowing to this insanity. And so
okay,
for
so
me to
but
look
but
at one man, he can't do it alone. It's these Republican senators who are afraid of him. It's the congressmen who are afraid of him. It's these various people. But here's the thing. We were talking earlier, Marvin, about what people do and why they do it. What goes on. Like for you were talking about your protest. I thought that was awesome. You guys went and protested old
Tesla.
Mr. Elon Musk and
Right.
his place. T- get more on that about why that's so important.
Well, it's important because the like they say, the people united will never be defeated, and that's real talk. If we show these people, whoever, the powers that be, that the people are to be reckoned with, and we have to show them our strength. We show them in numbers. We show them in their faces. We don't show them talking about it on the phone. We don't show them texting about it. They can read about it on Facebook, but if there's that's controlled. They can't control people from knocking on each other's door. They can't control people from hollering out their window of their car. And that's what we have to let be known, that people are ready and people are already doing it and motivated for the reason that, contrary to what you said, that man that's in Washington, D.C., that's enabling, that has all this power. Now, I understand that behind the scenes, there are machinations going on. But the reality of it is he is the one that is picking these scabs. And that maybe at the behest of a larger power structure, the moneyed people and all these other billionaires. That's why they got the money, but we got the fucking power. And
but here's the way the power is only. I'm going to interrupt again because I'm too trained in understanding how the government works and our system, our tripartite system, where we have an executive branch, a legislative branch, and a judicial branch. And that checks and balances is there for a purpose. Now, I agree with everything you've said, but my problem is this. Who controls the power is who has the power. And you're absolutely right. Right now, he has the power because of only one reason, because the Senate will back him. The Senate is supposed to be a check and balance against him doing the abuse of the power. They're not doing that. They are not functioning that way. And getting to your comments, because I totally agree with what you said, we need to change the Senate.
But see, Dave, and I didn't mean to, I had this point, and I don't want to lose it, is the fact that, okay, you think about the fact that you keep saying we, right? So that still brings the power back to the people. The people are the power.
Absolutely right.
But see, they have, here's the thing, they have the comfort of expediency in that they don't have to mobilize millions. We have to mobilize millions. That's why it seems like the opposition is taking a long time, but the opposition is building. And the power of the people will soon be heard, and it will be heard strong. It'll be heard loud.
Well, Marvin, we were sucker punched.
Yes,
within a week.
Oh, yeah.
In a week, he came out slinging a bat and smacking people and smacking shit. And he brought that little punk ass Musk on to start destroying people's lives, people's jobs and careers. Just boom, boom, boom. And then he made such a farce of it with that stupid chainsaw. Couldn't even do it legislative and respectively. Just didn't even know who these people were. Didn't even care. Oh, they're fat. They're gone. Bam. Who cares about their mortgage, their groceries, their car payments, their health insurance, their children's schools? So my point is we need to get to these senators. And the way to get to the senators, and you're right, mobilizing the people. But we can't mobilize Democrats. We need to mobilize Republicans.
Well, that's why I said earlier that we should make phone calls to the Republican senators and congresspeople, that we need to contact them.
We're going to ask you, are you a Democrat or are you a Republican, and where are you on the rolls? And as soon as they find out you're a Democrat, you are frowned upon and looked at as negative. Well, then I want to talk to the Republican Party.
Well, as an American citizen, you can remain anonymous as well. So you don't have to reveal all.
They're not going to take that to heart. Any senator, you wouldn't. If somebody called me and started preaching to me and wouldn't identify themselves, I'd give them that and hang up.
But it wouldn't matter. what I said, like I said earlier, it was the point of that is they will hear the opposition. They may not care, want to hear what I have to say, but they're going to hear something. And
No, you're right.
they have emails, they have Twitter accounts, they have all these different forms of communication that you can get to them. As far as motivating Republicans, we can only motivate Republicans we know, and I don't know a lot of them. And
Well, I don't know. I'm hoping we got a Republican listening right now. And if we do out there, if any Republicans are listening or care to join us and talk about this, we'd love to have you as a guest. And I trust that you have some integrity, that there's some type of respect, self-respect, respect for your community, for your government, for your churches, for your schools, for your own neighborhood, that you will look to see what's really happening to you and yours. This
David,
isn't about Republican.
all due respect to both of you guys, you're pissing in the wind with Republicans. That the market is excuse me.
I disagree.
I know you do, but I haven't said a word yet. The market is independence. It's independence. Republicans, MAGA, all of that stuff. You call a Republican senator. The other day in a video, a Republican senator is speaking at town hall to his constituents. This pussy walked out on Republicans.
Yeah.
Now just let that sink in, okay? Now, do you think you're going to get 2 seconds into a phone call with a guy like that? No.
No. I didn't say that.
The independents are the guys that will listen to you that voted for Trump. A Republican, yeah, there may be some fringe, but the sweet spot, if you're going to swing anybody that may have regretted their vote, it's going to be the independents, guys.
But see, okay, but see that's there's no Republicans or excuse me, any politicians that are in the independence party, so they don't have any
there
power.
are.
They don't. Well, hold on. They don't have
Bernie Sanders.
But the point I'm.
But Marvin, my point is, if you're,
how do you reach them though?
Well, I'm an independent. And I can call a Republican senator and say, I'm an independent.
Oh,
and my point is, I can call these guys and say, I'm an independent, and I'm pissed off with what is going on.
Okay.
As an independent, they don't know what to do about me.
I like that.
Nobody knows what to do. The Democrats look at me with kind of a slant eye. Republicans look at me at a slant eye. But so it sounds like with David, he's an independent. They don't know what to do with me.
Well, I'm going to disagree with what you said to a degree.
Uh-huh.
And here it is. You've given up hope on people. I don't give up hope on people, and I don't care who they are. Republican, independent, Democrat, or whatever you want to call yourself. I believe that there is inherently good in all people.
Yeah.
Now, don't get me wrong. There's a basis in the MAGA group that will never change because they don't want to change. They're bigots, they're racists, and that's the core principle they live on. They thrive on hate. I'm not looking to those people. Those people are never going to change. They all have rebel flags and Nazi flags in their closets and on their walls. And now they're probably proudly flying them right outside their doors.
Yeah.
So that's not what I'm looking at. I'm looking at the reasonable human being that is across this nation.
Yeah.
And there's in every color, in every ethnic group, in every culture, every language, every party, political party, these people exist. And those are the people I want to call to the front.
But see, those are the people out at these protests. Those are the people that are out marching. That's who's out marching. But to what Craig said, I think that's an excellent idea as far as an independent voicing their concerns to the fucking Republican leadership, because they're always looked upon as how are they going to vote? How are they going to make a decision? Now, as far as people having inherently, having good in them, but see, when your fearless leader is full of hate for a certain group, then you end up hating those people. And that's why I got to go back to that one individual who is making all this hate possible. Now,
I don't fight hate with hate.
but it's
I'm not going to fight
you
hate
don't
with hate.
fight
Don't
hate
get me
with hate.
wrong.
You fight hate with hammers. You
Well,
fight it with hammers and nailing signs and making signs and getting out in the street and picket signs. That's how you do it.
I got you. You're right. Hate, you got to destroy hate. I totally agree with you. But I'm not talking about that. You're not going to change that. That to me is a futile exercise, because those people that hate you because you're black and because I'm a Mexican and because he's
But
white guy
who said anything about changing anybody that hates? Who said anything about that?
That's not even my target. They're always going to be there.
Yeah, exactly.
That ain't never going to change. That ain't never going to change.
Yeah,
Marvin.
we're not discussing that.
I absolutely believe that. So my point is this: the majority is not those haters. I want to get to the majority who we can put those haters back in the closet where they belong.
Well,
put them back in the basements where they belong.
I think you're getting a little off course, because what we're talking about is how people change things, and we're not trying to get anybody that hates or anything like that. We're trying to get the people who are ambivalent. We're trying to get the people who want something different.
The ones with integrity.
Yeah. And so those other folks, I don't even care about. But they will also see, though, that the people that they hate also love this country.
You know
the people that
you just voiced exactly what I said at the very beginning of this conversation and what I meant from the beginning. So I appreciate you backing me up. Thank you. That's exactly what I said from the very beginning.
Really? I don't remember.
Yeah.
I don't.
We have to get. I'm not
looking
looking for just one group. I'm looking for everybody across the board. And you're right,
David. You said something early on about Musk that let's backtrack to the more reasonable Republican. Forget about the MAGA. The more reasonable Republican. Now, I'm talking about independents, but let's just say Republicans now, and let's say near term, okay? Knowing what they know now, and gentlemen, we're not even 60 days into this, but let's just say where we are now, and talking to a sensible Republican and saying, knowing what you know now, what Elon Musk has done to the VA, disabled veterans, and all of this stuff, and like what you're saying, upending families, and some of these families, this is not just, he's not upending Democrats, it's across the board, decimating families that voted for Trump and are now having a hard time financially, that this is what you voted for? You voted for Musk to go in with his minions, these punk ass kids, and torpedo hardworking families indiscriminately? This is what you voted for? Serious. And I'm just talking about one part. Then Trump with these tariffs. They're on, they're off, they're on and off. As the market is tanking, I'm just highlighting a couple of things right now in the press and saying, and again, I'm talking to level-headed Republicans that don't become defensive. So I have to be careful how I approach this, that their brain just doesn't go, they just don't go defensive on me. But they say, you're right, Craig. I didn't see this coming. The market right now, how they're responding, they don't like all this chaos, all this confusion. So they're just saying, screw it.
Let's talk about this market for a minute. I'm going to disagree with you. I think they love this market right now. This market's making all kinds of money, folks.
Hold on for 1 second.
Boom, boom, boom. They're buying that shit's moving.
David, hold on. That's a whole other thing as far as the billionaires, let's say, manipulating this, that drops. Some people, as you and I've discussed, are making billions of dollars. That's a whole other conversation. I'm just saying the average Joe with all this, everything going on. I'm just talking about the sensible people saying, is this what you wanted for? You were wanting costs to drop. You wanted affordable eggs. You wanted all this other stuff where I can sit and have a beer with a guy in Missouri, Kansas, somewhere, and say, is this seriously what you were expecting with Musk and all this other stuff, and where they could honestly, a farmer who's now with Trump is saying, you're going to love all of this, and saying, is this what you anticipated? And for them to honestly say, no, Craig, this is not what I wanted.
I don't think you're going to get many people admitting that, because what you're asking them to admit is their own ignorance and their foolishness, their failure to even look to see. Wait a minute. Well, Craig, let me finish what I'm going to say.
All right.
You just made a comment that you took and looked at all these people and said they don't know what they foresaw. How could you not?
They got
Well, wait a minute.
A con man. They got duped.
Wait. I refuse to think that they're so stupid that they got duped by that. I refuse to think that these people that run these companies, that have these businesses, that have these farms, that these are intelligent people. And you're saying, oh, they just got duped. No. That makes them look so stupid.
Well,
they trusted. Wait a minute. Let me finish this. They trusted that there was some honesty here. There was some integrity here. But here's their failure. And this is why I say they were ignorant, because they didn't believe 2025. That's been touted for a while. And in it says everything that's happening right now is outlined right there. Boom, 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 boom. Right down the line. You both guys know this. You guys both know this is exactly what's happening. So my problem with all of this stuff with these people, not one of them is going to admit the truth. None of them are going to say, I didn't think this. And that's egg business. We got to get past that. This egg business didn't happen because somebody was manipulating market. They got the damn bird flu. They got sick. They killed millions of chickens.
Right.
End of issue. That had nothing to do with the political atmosphere at all. So, we start looking at things that have nothing, and we put something on it. When the real truth for me is real simple. There's a group of people that hate, and they're controlling it, and they also control the money. And so their corporate America is trying to take our government apart and run it like a corporation. You can't run a government like a corporation, because we're not making widgets. We're not putting out widgets. We have people that we work in a society. And that's this whole thing. We're not going to get anybody to admit they were stupid. They're all going to say, well, we trusted him and we believed in him. The stupid part is 2025 has been talked about for the few years now. This is not new. This is not new. So for me, it's real simple. There's haters in that party. You're never going to change them. And I like Marvin's approach. You got to throw it all in their face. And you got to. I totally agree. And the protest and being loud, and I'm into all that. And brother, I will go with you. If there's anything up here comes up, and you come up this way, you let me know. I will go with you. I totally agree that that's the approach we got to make. But at the same time, I refuse to think that all Republicans are evil, hateful people. I just refuse to think that, or anybody else. So I'm always
let me ask you something.
Yeah.
Okay, because if you had a friend that was a Republican, would you feel the same about that person?
If he retracted his position, absolutely.
Then he wouldn't be a true Republican.
No, he still would. The
So
principles of the Republican Party are not being.
you-
Wait a minute. The principles of the Republican Party are not being exercised by the current Republican Party. Not at all, historically.
But you're saying though that if he changed his mindset, you would still be cool with him.
Yeah, absolutely.
But if he didn't change, you wouldn't be cool with him no more.
Not at all. And I have family like that.
Okay, so it's pretty much the same thing. We're not hating.
But here's the difference. If you showed me that I was ethically wrong, morally wrong, I would admit it in a heartbeat.
Yeah, but that's you.
That's me.
We're talking about somebody who is hard-headed and their motivation.
Those are the haters.
Hold on, their motivation is based in hate.
I already said that.
But the thing is, you can't change them. But you can at least have you ever spoken to someone who had a different opinion than you, but eventually got them to change their mind?
Absolutely.
You're an attorney, so
Absolutely.
you know how to do that, right? I believe they can be changed.
Me too.
I believe, like Craig
But
said, you
hate
talk
is
to
a
them.
weird thing. Hate is a strange thing, Marvin.
But like you said, that you don't believe that all people are inherently evil. And Craig,
But remember, when I made that comment, I said there are haters who are never going to change, and I'm not talking to them.
yeah, and see, that's what Craig was saying. Talk to the moderate Republican,
That's what I'm doing.
and try to get them to hear what you're saying.
That's what I'm doing.
You know,
That's exactly what my position is.
And that's what I think, that an independent, a group, if you could get a coalition of people who are independent voters to start calling Republican politicians, I believe that would make a big impact.
Does the independent, and I don't know this, Craig, maybe you do, does the independent party necessarily get together like the Democratic Party or the Republican Party?
I've searched it. If they do, they maybe get together once a year for a potluck in somebody's backyard. I've never found anything. I'm going to shift gears just for a minute, guys,
Okay.
and illustrate what a fucking moron Trump is. Straight up. You know, we've just had all of this tariff stuff yesterday, and he was kind of put all that to bed, right? And as we're having our podcast, and I have several apps that will give me headlines. I shit you not. This has popped up. Trump says U.S. may play reciprocal tariffs on dairy and lumber for Canada. Then it goes on. A day earlier, Trump had pulled back new tariffs he had placed on Mexico and Canada a day earlier. Now, earlier today, the market was in the tank, heavily in the red. Okay. Now, the market had clawed its way back and was in the green thanks to Fed Chair Powell's testimony going on this morning. Okay. It'll be interesting to see where the market ends up. I dare say it's probably going to go back into the red because of this dipshit talking about tariffs once again after yesterday. And that was my point when I was talking earlier, that this guy goes back and forth. His word means absolutely nothing. And unfortunately, we have essentially another 4 more years of this fuck me.
You know, that's an interesting thing about his another 4 years. I'm going to say probably not. And the reason I'm going to say this is because, again,
He is such a dipshit.
I still believe in our government. And I believe that our government, through our judicial system and through our legislative bodies, are going to turn this shit around and get him out.
I'll tell you, Dave, I have to agree. You cannot have, you know, we look at, people were saying, Republicans, oh, we have two business guys. We have Trump and we have Musk running the country. Well, if you want business guys, I can think of Buffett. I can think of Mark Cuban. We can think of a lot of successful business people. They just happened to come to mind because I saw Mark Cuban earlier on something. We can think of. I'm thinking of Perry. What's Marvin? What's the the black guy down in Georgia has the studios.
Lee.
I can't think of it.
Not that guy Al. Oh, the rapper.
No.
Louis.
I can't think of his name. But a buddy of mine was on him on a show. The Oval. I can't even think of his name. I have a lot of respect for him. Gosh, damn, I'm frustrated. He's a black guy. He's a billionaire. Why can't we think of his name? Doesn't matter. Anyhow, we can think of a lot of really successful guys to say, if we want we want to run this like a business. I mean, from a business perspective, families, we all run our families as a business that you have to balance out your family. So every business you want to stay in the black. So this guy isn't it David Article 25 that somebody's incompetent as far as the president, right? Isn't it Article 25
Yeah.
utilized? This guy is not equipped to be president of the United States. Within
He
less,
never was.
less,
He never was, and you're right. We got a guy who's bankrupt what 6, 7 businesses, including a university.
I believe it's 6.
You know?
You want to verify this?
Okay, and another guy who just
within,
blew up 2 rockets.
but
Just
in
had
2
2
months,
rockets blow up. There's no
see,
success.
a guy who grows up in South Africa comes here under interesting means in his early 20s.
No, he came here under a
Did grow
student
up-
visa, never registered for school, started working with his brother, so he was a criminal right off the top. Bam. That's how he got here.
and
And now
starts
he's a
whacking
supervillain.
Americans, whacking our veterans at the VA with these little dipshit punk ass kids. How much more are we going to be putting up with this horse shit? And Trump,
That's
every
why I
time
say,
with this,
Of
yes,
course, right now, if you're taking note, if you follow any of these lawsuits that are being filed against him, he's losing left and right. Okay, and the courts are the only ones who right now who have any kind of balls about it all. All right, the Senate, he's got them all whipped up, but he cannot. And these courts, they're saying, no. This is going to have where you're going to have to do it this way, and that's that. Now, the interesting thing is, he can't tell somebody, do it my way or you're fired. And here's why. Because the courts will tell that person who's in charge of whatever that administrative process is they're going to do to release money or whatever it is, they're going to do it. Because if they don't, the court will come right after that person and put him in jail.
yeah.
Not Trump. They'll come after that individual. So that individual is going to say, court said to do it. They did it. End of issue. So, yeah. It's a touchy thing what's going on right now, and I do believe that Trump is not going to make the whole 4 years. I'd be amazed if he made the whole 4 years. I'd be amazed if the Senate maintains its power in the next 2 years.
Now, when is the next election?
2 years from now.
Okay.
Yep, 2 years. Brother.
Well, when you elect a reality game show host who is a felon, would this is what you get? Yeah, I mean, this is what you get.
I mean, really, politically, we look fucking like clowns right now on the world stage.
Straight up, man.
The United States looks really, really bad.
We're inept. We look inept because we picked the biggest fool on the planet to be our leader. Oh my gosh, how embarrassing!
Yeah, but the reality of it is like you said, Dave. We know there's someone in the back pulling the strings. Elon Musk basically bought the presidency, right?
Absolutely, $330 million, something like that.
Yeah, so he's at least a part owner.
$277 million, and you bought the United States of America.
Yeah,
that's a good investment.
Yeah, he's at least a part owner, right?
And who knows what Putin's got on it?
Oh, Putin.
Worst case, Marvin, at least option. Worst case.
Yeah. Well, and Dave, man, that whole thing, think about it. I mean, a lot of our presidents have met with Russian leaders. What's his name?
Khrushchev.
Yes, Big Noon Zabrinsky. When Clinton met with him, our presidents have met with Russian leaders, but they don't give them head. I don't believe.
I don't think so. We lost your vocal.
Okay, I was probably beeped out. I said,
I think StreamYard censored you.
Yeah, they must have censored me. But the reality of it is, it's that relationship. I would think different of the relationship if he was actually diplomatically dealing with Russia in a way, trying to soften ties that way. But he's not. He's kissing ass.
He kowtows to him every time.
Yeah, he's sucking shoestrings. He's doing whatever it takes to look good to this guy versus trying to figure out a way to keep the world peace. He's stirring up the pot and
Yep.
and fucking with the bees, and cozying up to another madman.
Yep.
It's crazy. It's scary.
Crazy.
It's scary.
It's
It's
crazy.
that whole and when earlier I said one man, and I meant that in that the chaos that he brings. It's we can't attribute it to one man because we can, because I believe
He lit the
that.
fuse.
Well, it's because when he wasn't around, this shit wasn't going on.
Well,
It wasn't as crazy as the show has gotten.
well, it wasn't
And
as blatant.
no, it wasn't as crazy, Dave. I
It,
don't care what you say. That wasn't nobody running around closing down fucking government agencies and
Yeah.
oh,
getting
you're talking about the
millions of
government.
people.
Oh, okay. Yeah, the government.
Yeah,
I totally agree. Yeah,
yeah,
I
I'm
was
talking
talking about
about the
something else.
government.
Yeah.
And so, and it wasn't one man posting tariffs on all over the world on our friends and talking about
Yeah.
pulling. That's one man. And
Yeah.
so, whoever's behind him, it doesn't matter, because a lot of this crazy shit comes out of his demented mind. And I don't care what you say.
Yeah.
Some of that stuff is not orchestrated. He just
No.
thinks of this shit.
No.
Oh yeah, that's
I-
just spontaneous crap. But wait, but
That's
if
right.
have you read? Wait, have both of you guys read Project 2025?
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah, he's doing the
It's in
Project
there.
20.
That's all that shit
That's
that's
right.
in there.
And
That's right.
who's enabling it?
Well,
One
Stephen
man.
Miller. Stephen
One
Miller.
one man.
Somebody very important who's behind the scenes, who's right there, who orchestrating this that people don't talk about. Stephen Miller.
Oh, we know
Yeah.
Stephen Miller's a
Okay,
fucking
that little creep,
he's an ultra Nazi Jewish
straight up
guy.
I know.
ultra
I know.
Nazi. That guy in Musk is nothing but a front man because he's got all the money. He's got all the money, and that's why he's out front. He likes to be out front. He likes the attention,
Yeah.
And they like using kids to say, "Look, I'm a good guy. Look at the little boy." They did that thing at the unbelievable, that poor little black kid who's dying of cancer. He canceled all the cancer research
I know.
for children. He canceled, and then he wants to tout this little boy and put him up there like he's doing something gracious. That pissed me off. And make him
I
an
know.
FBI agent or CIA or whatever the hell it was.
Yeah.
Now, don't get me wrong. For the kid, right on. What a thrill for the kid, and I think
Yeah.
that's awesome. That's awesome for the boy. But the purpose behind that,
It's just a
No.
show.
that's disgusting.
It's a prop.
Disgusting.
But we all know that he's a despicable being. He's just point blank a despicable being, right?
Yeah.
Uh and so out of the mind of this despicable being comes all these hurtful things.
I
And
know.
it's motivated by hate. And it's
Yes.
like, I think I mentioned this scenario before about the abortion and child labor and all this other
Yeah.
shit, and then kicking out the Latinos so that the Americans will be so broke there'll be no government agencies to help them. They'll have to go pick fucking cherries for fucking $1 a bucket. They'll have
Yeah.
to go pick heads of lettuce. They'll have to, because there's no safety nets. He's pulling away all the safety nets, and he wants these people to have babies by no abortion. Because why? They're getting rid of child labor laws. They're getting rid. They're trying to create a slave class of people.
Yep.
Fully agree,
Yep.
Marvin.
Absolutely right.
Yeah, and then it's the march is on. They want, and they know that they kick all the Mexicans out. The people who are left are going to be able to. Those are going to be the only jobs. There's not going to be any other jobs left.
Well, they're destroying the Department of Education and saying let's delegate or relegate it, pardon me, to the states. That's bullshit. That's bullshit. So we have one state teaching kids all kinds of hypocrisy and hate. Another state, I mean, this is crazy. Then they start mandating religion in those states.
That's right.
Next thing you know, we're going to have a fight between states based on religion.
Yeah, it'll be like it'll be like the Middle East.
It'll be like the Middle East.
Yes.
We don't need that shit here. We don't need that shit here. And I got to say something. I'm just going to say this. It drives me crazy when migrants come to this country because they want to find freedom away from the tyranny and the oppression that they're leaving. And they come here and they bring that shit with them. And then they get mad at the people here who won't go over there to fight that tyranny and shit that they left. Like, wait a minute. Palestinians, get it together here. And so what are they do? Well, we're not going to vote for you Democrats because we're mad at you. We're going to let Trump do it. Trump's going to kick your little sorry ass right on out of this country. That's what's going to happen there. And don't get me wrong. I think that war over there between the Palestinians and the Jews, I think they're all at fault. They're all at fault. Palestinians started it. All right. They got the asses whooped up real good. Then it was overkill and more overkill and more overkill and more overkill. In this country right now, if some guy comes up to me and he picks a fight with me and he starts, and I take him down and I knock him down, and then I stand above him and say, so you thought you was bad at me? And I start working his shit. I bust up his eye orbits and his jaws and shit.